Blessed good day, racing fans. Welcome to Race Day Preview. I just want to say big up to all my supporters, my fans, and all my subscribers. So let's begin. First race. Note the time, it's 11:45 a.m. We have a 10 race program. It's a very competitive program. So let's see how best we can analyze and come up with the winners. 10 declared in race 1. It's 5 viewers and up. Optional claiming 200. 700 meters. I'm gonna boil this race down to 3 horse. There are a lot of suspect here, but I'm gonna go with 3 of them. And that is 1, Big Guy in the Sky, 8, Queensland on the outside, horse number 10, Galloway Bay. You could also throw number 9 in it too. Absolute Blue. 1, Big Guy in the Sky. This has won and last after being promising, finally won and last, beating Sudden Flight and Wear Your Honor. Dean Dawkins picked up the ride once again. Drawn post position 1, which I think is not the best drawn going over the straight, but Big Guy in the Sky is so fit right now, can win second time of asking. 8, Queensland. This horse is very fit. This horse is down from 350 to 200 claiming. This is an easy assignment for Queensland. Ryan Lewis picked up the ride, and as such, I think Queensland is the horse to beat here. 10, Galloway Bay. Prominent for the first 4 and last. Was a little bit disappointing for me. I think Galloway Bay should have run much better than that. However, I guess prefers over the straight. So, drawn position 10, 50 kilo compliments of Richie Shakes. Galloway Bay is a horse that you have to look out for. And horse number 9, Absolute Blue. As I look in, it's off a little break now. Has some amount of speed. One sound and fit, Absolute Blue will give off her best. But I'm going to take horse number 8, Queensland, to get the better of horse number 1, Big Guy in the Sky. Then for third, Galloway Bay. For fourth, Absolute Blue. Moving on, race 2, restricted stakes, 6 declared, 7.5 furlong. I'm going to boil this race down to 3 of them. 2, Rocket Fire Seb. 5, H2O. 6, Global Pursuit. Rocket Fire Seb. This horse is very classy. I've been winning these races, winning them very far. On Monday the 8th of the 9th, 5.5 in 107 by 101. And on Sunday the 14th of the 9th, 6 furlong in 114. This Rocket Fire Seb with Radish Roman is the horse to beat. And as such, I'm going to make this one my top choice. 5, H2O is another one that is very classy. Won and last by 7 length, beating Brampton Boy and I Am Outstanding. On the 30th of the 8th, 6 furlong in 114.2. On the 6th of the 9th, 5.5 in 107 by 101. H2O is a very classy horse. Is improving. Shane Ellis now picks up the ride. This is the one that I think gonna give Rocket Fire Seb something to think about. 6, Global Pursuit. Won and last. Didn't beat much. Easy money and altogether. However, we're not sure how good this horse is. May not have the class like Rocket Fire Seb and H2O, but if any of these two horses don't put their foot right come race day, then we could see Global Pursuit upset, and as such I am willing to just throw this one into my permutations. However, horse number 2, Rocket Fire 7, my first and my firm choice, to get the better of horse number 5, H2O, for third global pursuit. And like I said, if Rocket Fire 7 or H2O doesn't turn up, then global pursuit could upset the apple cart. Moving on, race number 3. It's a restricted allowance, 4 is up, 6 declared, 6 furlongs, another small field. However, this is a very competitive field, and as such, I would implore you to go very deep with this race. I'm going to boil it down to 4 of them. However, this race doesn't confine to these 4, but these are my top choice. 2, Matuso, 4, Smart Trick, 5, The General, 6, Rocket Fire 7. Matuso, 7 by 15 length and last, when beaten by Zulu Warrior and Riches to Rags. Those are far better horses. I think Matusa has a much easier assignment now. Before that, won by a shorthead, beating Oil Machine and Blood Moon. Ramario Spencer picks up the ride for the 3rd consecutive occasion. I think Matusa will enjoy this 6 furlong trip. Very fit right now. Watch out for Matusa to give off his best. 4, Smart Trick. This horse led for the first 4 furlong and last. The Cado car had this horse tear away from the field. I think Dick Cardenas now replaces car. Should rode a much better race. I don't think Smart Trick need to tear away. I think Smart Trick has speed and have pace. The visor is now off, which tells you that the trainer is thinking of a more relaxed, I guess, come from off the pace rather than try to go to the lead with She's Dallas Love and My Sunshine. There's no need for Smart Trick to run that kind of race. And as such, if Dick just held Smart Trick off the pace this time around, I think Smart Trick will beat these come Saturday. 5, The General, 4th by 2 lengths and last after slowing to stride, beaten by King's Crown and Blue Sensation. The General is one of these horses who love a strong pace up front, doesn't have much early speed, will be coming on, and is good enough to catch the leaders. Firecracker is another horse that has pace, has speed, was beaten by Mighty Gullion last, after stepped up to that level. This is a much easier assignment for Firecracker. 49 kilo, dangerous Firecracker. I'm going to take a shot at horse number 4, Smart Trick, with Dick Cardenas to ride a different race come Saturday to get the better of horse number 5, The General. Then for 3rd, Matusa. For 4th, Firecracker. Look for a good run from She's Dallas Love and My Sunshine. But I think an upset going to be in this race, and that will be Smart Trick. Moving on, race number 4. It's a restricted allowance. 7 declared, 8 furlong. I'm going to boil this race down to 3 of them. That is 1, Unruly Dawn. 3, Wicked Cassie. And on the outside, horse number 7, Shooting Star. Unruly Dawn. So in the stride and last, when beat my train of thoughts. That was 7.5 furlong. Trip now increases to a mile. This horse is a strong run-on horse. Has a lot of pace. Radish Roman picks up the ride once again. This is the horse I think they will all have to answer to. 3, Wicked Cassie. I would say very disappointed in last. However, I don't think Wicked Cassie enjoy galloping over the straight. The back stretches to a mile. This is what this horse prefers. Lamar Williams replaces Paul Francis. Got to pull in the weight. Watch out for Wicked Cassie. We're flying home in deep stretch. 7, Shooting Star. This horse will be the leader. There are 2 speeds in this race. Hit and Run and Shooting Star. These 2 horses will hook up on the headline, but I think Shooting Star is much more stronger than Hit and Run. So Shooting Star should get rid of Hit and Run very early, and we'll only have Unruly Dawn and Wicked Cassie to fight off. He's very fit right now, can go all the way. However, the weight has now increased from 52 kilo to 55.5 kilo, and as such, I think Unruly Dawn will get the better of this Shooting Star. Hindered and last was in that same race with Train of Thoughts. Look for a good run from Shooting Star. However, I'm going to take horse number 1, Unruly Dawn, to catch a long time leader, Shooting Star, and for third, Wicked Cassie. Look for a good run from Hit and Run. Moving on, race number 5, it's a restricted allowance. This is a very competitive race, a field of 11. They are going 5 straight. I'm going to boil this race down to 5 of them. 1, Speeds on Wheel. 4, Cleopatra Queen. 5, Captain Fantastic. 8, Dream to Reality. 10, Gilroy. Speed on Wheel. This horse very disappointing in his last couple of races. Shane Ellis picked up the ride once again for the 4th consecutive occasion, which tells you that Shane is very confident with this horse. Coming from post position 1, which is not the best draw for horses going over the straight. However, Speeds on Wheel has a lot of speed, should be able to tack across, and should be able to challenge and prove elusive. 4, Cleopatra Queen. Ran a good race on last after coming off that break. Stable has no change. Michael Spencer is now the new conditioner. Demar Williams replaces Ian Dallibaby Spence. 5th by 6.25 length on last and beat my Radam, a military light. Once this horse is fit and sound, look for a good run from Cleopatra Queen. 5, Captain Fantastic has been very disappointing in his races, but continues to get fitter and fitter. Slow into stride and last, ended up 9th by 13 length when beaten by Imaya and Noble Sovereign. The Caymanas takes a ride once again. Captain Fantastic should be challenging. He's very fit, and I expect a much better run from Captain Fantastic. 8, Dream to Reality. This is horse I think they will all have to beat. 3rd by 5 length and last when beaten by Alke Bulan. Before that, 3rd by 5 length and beaten by Radam. Dane Dawkins picks up the ride once again. Please note, blinkers off, visor now on. There's a nice little work on the 13th of the 9th, 4 Furlong in 49 by a minute 2. This kind of work amongst these horses, I think, is good enough to beat these. 10, Gilroy, coming from post position 10. This horse ran now and then, ran a good race, then doesn't show up. It's a horse that you have to take on trust. It's very light now, coming from post position 10. Might try to lead, might run on, not sure which Gilroy will turn up. So you have to give this horse a look in. 4th by 9.25 when beaten by Adira on last. However, based on the work that I see Dream to Reality produce, I'm going to take horse number 8, Dream to Reality, to get the better of horse number 1, Speeds on Wheel. Then for 3rd, Captain Fantastic. For 4th, Cleopatra Queen. Running off your high 5, horse number 10, Gilroy. Look for a good run from horse number 3, Ballistic Missile. Race 6, restricted allowance. 11 declared, 5.5 furlong. It's another race that you have to choose wisely. I think I'm going to boil this race down to at least 6 of them. And that is 3, Toots. 4, Princess Ifia. 7, Leading Lad. 8, Zephanic Steel. 9, Workout Cruise. 10, Power of Her Highness. Toots. Third by 7 length and last when beaten by Bella Bella and Always Right. It was a very tough race. This is a much easier assignment for Toots. Getting fitter and fitter. Aaron Chachi replaces Omar Walker. Toots will be in front. Watch out. Could hold off all challenges. Princess Ifia is another horse, a lot of speed, very disappointing. But this field is not that competitive compared to the races that this horse ran before. And as such, Princess Ifia can go to the lead and can hold it all the way to the end. Please no chickpeas, no on. Watch out for Princess Ifia to run a much improved race, and that is good enough to end up in the winner's enclosure. 7, leading lad, won and last after coming off a long break. Won by 2 lengths, didn't beat much, beat Security Code and Motivator. However, this has have some back class. Watch out for leading lad also to run a very good race. 8, Zyphonic Steel is another horse that is very fit. I would say up in class. The Caymanas picked up the ride. This horse is very fit, has speed, has pace. Watch out, Zyphonic Steel. This horse could be the fly in the ointment. 9, Workout Cruise. I think this is a horse they will all have to beat. Finished third and last when beat My Charming Sound and Always Right. Onin Bullins picks up the ride once again. It's very fit right now. This is a much easier assignment for Workout Cruise, and I expect this horse to beat these. 10, Power of Highness was seen making late gain on last, going 7 furlong. This is another horse that is getting fitter and fitter. Umar Walker now picks up the ride. I expect a good run from Power of Her Highness. I'm going to take horse number 9, Workout Cruise, to get the better of horse number 3, Toots. Then for third, Zyphonic Steel. For fourth, Princess Ifia, horse number 4. Then horse number 7, Leading Lad. Horse number 10, Power of Her Highness. Very competitive race. Moving on to race number 7. It's a maiden condition race. Fillies only. 14 declared. They're going 5.5 furlong. I'm going to boil this race down to 3 of them. 3, Miss Brayton. 12, Sparkling Fire. 13, You're My Sweetie. Miss Brayton. Third by 6.25 and last when beaten by Dreamer's Corner and Kiss Me. This is a much easier assignment for Miss Brayton. Miss Brayton has been beaten by much better horses. Blinkers now off. Demar Williams picks up the ride. Replaces Onin Mullins. This is an easy assignment for Miss Brayton, and I expect Miss Brayton to put it across. These 12, Sparkling Fire, ran a much improved race on last, second by 5.5 when beaten by D Storm. Is now back. Richie Shakes picks up the ride once again. Look out for a good run from Sparkling Fire. 13, You're My Sweetie, very unlucky. Loser on last, was injured after gaining on the leaders. Dave Dawkins maintains the ride for the 4th consecutive occasion. You're My Sweetie is getting fitter and fitter, and as such, this is a horse that could give Miss Brayton the most to do. I'm going to take horse number 3, Miss Brayton, to get the better of horse number 13, You're My Sweetie. Then for third, horse number 12, Sparkling Fire. Look for a good run from horse number 9, Life is Light, and horse number 11, Fantastic Hedge. Moving on, race 8 is open allowance. 5 declared, 5.5 furlong. This race is a race that's worth going miles to see. I'm going to boil this race down to 3 horses. 1, Fearless Force. 3, Ride All Day. 4, California Crown. This race has a lot of speed here. As a matter of fact, of the 5 runners, 4 of them very speedy. The only runner on horse in this race is horse number 1, Fearless Force. Now, Fearless Force got up in time to beat Bootylicious on last as a late kick. Very dangerous horse. And like I said, there's a lot of speed. And if they go too fast, watch out. Fearless Force will catch them in deep stretch. 3, Ride All Day. Very classy. Now, this is the real test for this Ride All Day. There's a lot of speed here. Like I said, California Crown, Money Market, Unbelievable Force. These horses are very speedy horses. They are packed with a lot of speed and pace. Ride All Day will face his sternest test today. However, Ride All Day is so classy that I'm willing to give Ride All Day the edge here. 4, California Crown, very speedy, has a lot of pace. Shane Ellis now replaces Robert Halladine. 5th by 7 1/4 and last was beaten by Pack Play and Mojito. Both of those horses came back and ran well. In fact, Mojito won and last. So that argues well for California Crown. This horse hardly led by anything in a race. So you know California Crown is coming to run. However, I'm going to go with horse number 3, Ride All Day, who I think is improving rapidly to get the better of Fearless Force, who I think will be flying home. And for 3rd, the long-time leader, California Crown. Look for good run from Money Market and Unbelievable Force. Moving on, race 9, restricted allowance, 3 years olds and up, 3-year-olds and up. Field of 11, 6.5 furlong. I'm going to boil this race down to 4 of them. 2, Sash On. 3, Big Buzz. 8, Prince Roy. 9, Easy Money. Also, I'm going to throw number 11, Dreamer's Corner, in the mix. So I'm going to boil it down to 5 of them. 2, Sash On. 4th by 7 1/4 and last, when beaten by Strong Mind and T Swizzle. I'm not sure what happened to Sashon that day. It was a very poor run. However, blinkers is now added, so that might do the trick. Radish Roman picks up the ride once again. Look for a much improved run from Sash On. Big Buzz, 5th by 2 lengths last, and beat by Pretty Perfect. Back from his classic campaign, this is a much easier assignment for Big Buzz. We'll enjoy 6.5. This is a dangerous contender. Works brilliantly on the 15th of the 9th. 3 Furlong in 36-2. Watch out, Big Buzz is coming to run. 8, Prince Roy. Now, Prince Roy continues to work. However, come race day, Prince Roy not delivering. The last time out, 10 by 22 led, beaten by Pretty Perfect. Before that, 2nd by a length and a quarter after slowing to strand and was beaten by Enthusiasm. I'm going to give Prince Roy one more chance of running a better race. Equipment change, so that could do the trick. The visor is now off. So let's see what Prince Roy will do. 9, Easy Money. This horse is very fit, very sound, is improving. 3rd by 7 lengths and last, and beaten by Strong Mind. The Cardenas picks up the ride for the 3rd consecutive occasion. Easy Money is so fit right now. It's coming to run. Very dangerous animal. 11, Dreamer's Corner. Won and lost by 5.5. Beating Kusmi. Didn't beat much. However, the final time of 1:22.3 for 6.5 furlong. That's why I'm going to throw Dreamer's Corner in the mix, because this horse is improving and the final time is very impressive in my estimation. The only other horse I see as a 1:22 for 6.5 is Prince Roy. So I'm willing to give Dreamer's Corner a look in. And after that run, this horse came back on the 7th of the 9th and worked 6 furlong in 1/16 flat alongside Run Julie Run. And on the 14th of the 9th, 5 furlong in 1:03.1 alongside Run Julie Run again. So this horse is well prepared. Don't leave Dreamer's Corner. Could be the fly in the ointment. I'm going to take horse number 9, Easy Money, to get the better of horse number 3, Big Buzz. For 3rd, Sash On. For 4th, Prince Roy. Fly in the Ointment, horse number 11, Dreamer's Corner. 10th and final, overnight allowance, 3 years and up, 6.5 furlong, 15 declared. I'm going to boil this race down to 6 of them. Yes, it's very competitive, and as such, I'm going to go with 6 horse here. 4, Immeasurable Joy. 5, Florindia. 7, Zulu Warrior. 9, Linguist. 12, Come Home to Me. 13, Perfect Brew. Immeasurable Joy. 5th by 8.5 on last when beaten by Mamma Mia and Fearless Force. That was a tough race for Immeasurable Joy. He's back now. Not doing bad at exercise. This is a horse that could upset this race. It's the kind of horse that likes to come from off the pace. And this horse is a fighter. Immeasurable Joy will fight you all the way. Ricardo Carr needs to get into the winner's enclosure. And I think Baba Nunes is trying his best to give this young man a winning ride. Look out for Immeasurable Joy. Could upset at a nice price. 5, Florindia. 11 by 20 length and last, beaten by Supremacy and Main Mistress. I think Florindia did not enjoy 8 furlong. Trip now reduced to 6.5. I think this is what Florindia needs. Tongue tie now off. This Roman picked up the ride once again, and I am willing to give Florindia another chance of winning this race. 7, Zulu Warrior. This horse has been improving very rapidly. 5th by 4.5 when beaten by Fearless Force and Bootylicious and last. He's now back. It's a much easier race for Zulu Warrior, and I think this horse will run a very good race. 9, Linguist. This is a horse that is improving. Is now back from his classic campaign. When I'm going to boil this race down to 6 of them. Yes, it's very competitive, and as such, I'm going to go with 6 horse here. 4, Immeasurable Joy. 5, Florindia. 7, Zulu Warrior. 9, Linguist. 12, Come Home to Me. 13, Perfect Brew. Immeasurable Joy. 5th by 8.5 on last when beaten by Mamma Mia and Fearless Force. That was a tough race for Immeasurable Joy. He's back now. Not doing bad at exercise. This is a horse that could upset this race. It's the kind of horse that likes to come from off the pace. And this horse is a fighter. Immeasurable Joy will fight you all the way. Ricardo Carr needs to get into the winner's enclosure. And I think Baba Nunes is trying his best to give this young man a winning ride. Look out for Immeasurable Joy. Could upset at a nice price. 5, Florindia. 11 by 20 length and last, beaten by Supremacy and Main Mistress. I think Florindia did not enjoy 8 furlong. Trip now reduced to 6.5. I think this is what Florindia needs. Tongue tie now off. This Roman picked up the ride once again, and I am willing to give Florindia another chance of winning this race. 7, Zulu Warrior. This horse has been improving very rapidly. 5th by 4.5 when beaten by Fearless Force and Bootylicious and last. He's now back. It's a much easier race for Zulu Warrior, and I think this horse will run a very good race. 9, Linguist. This is a horse that is improving. Is now back from his classic campaign when beaten the likes of Woman in Love and Pretty Perfect. Linguist with Dick Cardenas will enjoy this kind of trip, and I expect a big run from Linguist once again. 12, Come Home to Me. This is a horse that many persons would say doesn't have the class, but I think this horse is back to himself, is improving. Remember that Come Home to Me came out as a classic contender. So if Come Home to Me tap into that back class, I think this horse could upset these. Won his last two races, beating the likes of Alberta Freshier and Playfair. Come Home to Me, watch out, this horse could be the spoiler. 13, Perfect Brew, and 6-year-old Bagel Lynn continues to run pretty decent races. Fourth by 3 lengths on last when beaten by Fearless Force. Before that, third by 6 lengths after walking out the box, beaten by Mama Mia. So, Perfect Brew is very fit right now and will be coming home in deep stretch. I'm going to take horse number 9, Linguist, to get the better of horse number 7, Zulu Warrior. Then for third, Florindia. Watch out for horse number 4, Measurable Joy. Could create an upset. Also, horse number 12, Come Home to Me, could upset. Good run from horse number 13, Perfect Brew. Linguist, my firm choice. That's it for me, racing fans. Continue to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Best of luck. See you at the races.